All right, I'm not sure if this is the first Rewatchables mailbag. Have we ever done this before?
We did a categories mailbag. Where people
that's
suggested
right.
the
We did.
When we refreshed them.
We came up with, our listeners sent in Cruz versus Hanks. That's where we got that.
Was that before or after I got the vaccine? Because I don't remember anything after the vaccine.
Is this fire
Still
bill
long-term
is no
memory.
longer pulled
Yeah.
back? Yeah.
Fuck it. We have no idea how long this is going to be. It could be one part. It could be two parts. That's producer Craig right there, Craig Horlbeck. CR, Chris Ryan. We've been doing the Rewatchables. We had it was the 9-year anniversary
Is that right?
of when we did the Heat, 20 years of Heat, which, by the way, in 2025, 30 years of Heat.
I was at the Lakers Spurs the other night and a guy shouted out from the crowd, 4 Heat! And that was it.
That's all he brought to the table.
And that was Victor Wembanyama.
Wemby loves it. 4 Heat.
Yeah.
And he's like, Neil!
I sent you that thing where the backup keeper for Liverpool is a big Rewatchables fan.
Really?
Yeah.
How do we get him the starting job?
We have to. Well, I don't want him to get the starting job.
Okay,
Yet. We have the best keeper in the world. He's really good, but Allison is the best.
Well, Craig's been our producer for how many years?
Since 2018?
Yeah, 2018. We had Zach Mack initially, then Craig moved in, and we've woven him into the podcast. He's hosted a couple. We decided he had to be involved in the mailbag. I have a lot of mailbag questions. Thanks to everybody who mailed them into the rewatchables33@gmail.com. I'm going to go through these.
Is it mostly new category suggestions or just broad questions? What is it?
It's all kinds of things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some constructive feedback.
So I think I organized this correctly. We're going to go through them. I'll try to stop after each question. First one, a new category idea from Matthew B. The Chris Ryan Award. Would this movie be better if a main character smoked?
Yeah.
It's a good idea. So I've been thinking a lot big picture about the categories because we had a bunch from the last thing too. And maybe the move is going forward where it's like, let's say you and I are hosting.
Yeah.
I have a spot. Maybe we get rid of like Big Kahuna Burger or something like that. And I have a spot where it's like you can take any of the extra categories you want, right?
Yeah.
So if it's
Like
like
a flex position.
yeah, it's a flex.
I like
it's a flex
that.
spot. Maybe there's 2 flex spots in the pod, and then we have like 20 possibles. And obviously, what's age the best? Deion Waiters, all those stay in. But then when we talk about like
How
Great
many
Shot
of these
Gordo,
categories are related to smoking of the flex?
well,
That's tough because the answer is always yes for that category.
Yeah.
Matthew B had it. Dan White suggested the Sean Penn I Brought My Own Pack Award
Yeah.
for excellence in on-screen smoking, which I like. Is Sean Penn the right person for that, or would you go Jimmy Conway?
I think I would bring Sean Penn because Sean Penn also insists on smoking in every on-screen interview he does, where he's like, I think that's part of the barrier to entry is like you got to let Penn smoke American spirits on camera.
Well, I remember when he came to our old studio to do the BS pod with me, and it was like a Sunday 1:00, and he stunk of cigarettes then, and I was like, I really admire this guy. This guy is on brand at all times. So you're okay with the Sean
I'm
Penn?
okay
I
with
Brought
it.
My Own Pack
I
Award.
like in general just like knowing what actors did for real in the movie. I think that's a fun.
I got to, as you know, this is an obsession of ours, and
Yeah.
especially mine. I always look for it, and when I watch usually it's actors smoking. I always wonder, like, are they smoking the fake ones?
I was wondering if Billy Bob's smoking real cigarettes
in Landman. I was thinking about that in the season
Yeah.
finale.
Yeah, because I feel like he's just like, you guys need another shot? You guys need another angle because I'll spark up again.
Because they had, do you watch Landman?
No.
They had a gasoline scene in the season finale. I won't spoil it, but he's covered in gasoline, and then somebody offers him a
He's
cigarette.
covered in gasoline.
Yeah, he's still
And they're
covered
like,
in gasoline.
Be really careful where
He's
you
like,
ash.
be careful. He's
Yeah.
like, I'm already whatever, and he just starts smoking. So then Dan White also suggests, conversely, you have the Sean Penn I Brought My Own Pack Award, the Tom Cruise Which End Do I Light Award for terrible on-screen smoking. I like both of those, so I think maybe we just keep it in mind. That's
Yeah.
what I really want to do with the pod going forward. It's like conditional categories depending
Okay.
on where we are. Because a lot of times we just put that on what's age the best, what's age the worst, but maybe smoking needs a bigger platform.
Yeah, let's put more attention on smoking. Let's promote it.
Especially right now.
Who's our Mount Rushmore for cigarette smokers?
For just actually good ones or the Tom Cruise
Because to
one?
me, Jimmy Conway
Yeah,
is
it's
Jordan.
Sean Penn, Jimmy Conway. I think
Because
So this is
De
most
Niro-
believable smokers.
Gabriel
because De
Byrne?
Niro did this thing. He'd flip it just it was these two fingers, but the way he did it.
Do you
yeah,
respect it
it's
less
like-
if they were real smokers in real life? Is it
No,
cool?
I respect
think
it
you
more
know.
if you
You
were
do.
able to act that well. But I
Yeah, you
I
know.
feel like the assumption is that all actors are either recently quit, still secretly, or smokers.
I think when you act, you're just in a trailer, and somebody's like, "You want to have a cigarette?"
Yeah,
Yeah,
trying to
I would
stay
love
skinny,
to have it.
and
Yeah,
you're
I'd
just
love to
like,
have a
yeah.
trailer. They all stink of cigarettes. Edie Falco and Copland, which I was thinking that maybe is an award too. The Edie Falco and Copland Award for this character somehow became 3 times hotter because she smoked.
Right?
Blake Lively in the town.
We need to start adding visuals to these categories too on YouTube. Like whenever time we introduce that category, we got to show Edie.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Sean sent us, what was that Twitter account, the smoking account?
It was
It was this
was that
Twitter
one?
account where they measure how many cigarettes were smoked during the movie. And that's the entire Twitter account.
That's fun.
Um,
It's like how many F words, but how many cigarettes.
Yeah.
That's good.
So this guy went through and this was just his thing. I think cigarette smoking in movies.
how many cigarettes? It's at Cigarette Movies on X.
Yeah, there you go.
That's you. That's your
That's
pronoun.
actually my website.
All right, so we're going to step up the smoking stuff in
Yeah, okay, good.
2025.
Yeah.
Good start. This is from Cindy Hollenbeck. Bill, you are my spirit animal, which my kids say is no longer politically correct. Ha ha ha. I love the Bad News Bears slap
Fire
shot
Bill.
Animal House.
Cindy Hollenbeck is my mother, by the way.
This is great. She loves Bad News Bears, Slapshot, Animal House, Caddyshack, Fast Times. Find myself nodding along your perspectives. I enjoy everyone's knowledge, senses of humor, dirty jokes, and analysis. Okay, category recommendation. In line with Cruise versus Hanks, can you find 2 female actresses, or she said 2 female actors, which I probably should have said.
That's why you're
Can-
not the spirit animal.
Can you find 2 female actors as well? I'm thinking of Sandra Bullock versus Nicole Kidman or Michelle Pfeiffer versus Ellen Barkin, Meg Ryan versus Goldie Hawn. You see where I'm going. All right, so I put real thought in this. I like this idea.
Okay.
I like this following Cruise Hanks, but I also think Cruise and Hanks are one-on-one
Mhm.
as a combo. We don't have the actress version of that.
Yeah.
But what I do think we have, I think you could do Julia Roberts, Sandra Bullock, Michelle Pfeiffer, Nicole Kidman, and make it a foursome. And we could keep track of that as well. Because I think those are like Julia Roberts versus Bullock is fun. Pfeiffer, we always talk about
Yeah.
anyway. Kidman's got a little more
Pfeiffer's
drama.
appeared in a lot of casting what ifs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think if those were the 4s, or anybody else you would put in there, Julia, Sandra Bullock, Pfeiffer, Kidman. Because Demi Moore, probably a little too
There's got to be
limited.
somebody more recent, right?
Well, I was thinking, so somebody like under 40? Like Emma Stone?
Emma Stone or Jennifer
Stone?
Lawrence or something.
Yeah.
Oh, Jennifer Lawrence. So maybe Jennifer Lawrence replaces Julia.
But
Julia's fine. She's
They
in
almost
her-
have to be the same age, though. It's going to be hard to do Jennifer
Because you're
Lawrence or-
basically looking at these movies and you're like, Billy Crystal's girlfriend in Running Scared would that have been better if it was Goldie Hawn? Yes.
Yeah. So
I almost think we just need. It needs to be 2 people. Cruise versus Hanks
Yeah.
is
it's
iconic because it's 2. It's got to be.
is it modern people or old people?
It's whoever makes the most sense. Cruise and Hanks are perfect equals, and they're
It's
opposites
really
in
hard
a
because
great
Cruise
way.
and Hanks works for Superbad and it works for like
Yeah,
it works for
Yeah.
like Howard's End.
I can't figure out who it is then. Because you could go more modern. You could go J-Law versus Emma Stone.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's Cruise or Hanks worthy. I mean, Cruise has been in 15 rewatchables already.
there's
Julia Roberts versus Sandra Bullock?
also a humor to Cruise versus Hanks that I just don't know if it's there for Julia
always
Roberts
funny.
for Sandra Bullock.
It wouldn't be funny to be, would you rather have Sandra Bullock or Julia Roberts in Den of Thieves?
Yeah, it's like
All right. We'll keep workshopping that one. There's no right answer yet.
there's something there.
I like the idea of Michelle Pfeiffer just being involved because, as you know, I love her. All right. New category idea from Will Hanselman. As a long-suffering Lions fan, Dan Campbell is my hero and #1 anxiety inducer. I suggest a category called the Dan Campbell scale, given to a character or scene that makes you think, holy shit, are they really going for this as it's actually happening? For instance, the Illuminati orgy in Eyes Wide Shut is a 100% Dan Campbell. Gerard Butler's Big Nick eating the donut off the ground, 75% Dan Campbell, etc. And then he says, best wishes. Thanks for all your awesome.
That's how I felt when they started singing in Amelia Perez. I was like, wow, 4th and 18. We're going for it.
Wow, they pulled Goff and they're going Wildcat, 4th and 18.
What is the all-time holy shit they're really going for this? I really like the idea of the eating the donut off the ground. It's a perfect Dan Campbell.
Maybe there should be a 4th and a certain amount of yardage scale.
for the
For
Dan
each
Campbell
crazy
scale.
thing.
Yes, it's like, was this a 4th and 2 or was it a 4th and 12?
Yeah, so when Neil goes back for Edie, or no, goes back for Wingro, even though he's clearing away free.
Oh, that's Dan Campbell. That's 4th and 9.
yeah, that's like I'm faking a punt up 9. You know,
It's 4th and 9 from the 10.
Yeah. But then there's some that it's like, it's a tush push. It's a lock. It's
Yeah.
a guarantee.
All right, that's good. I think we worked that one in somehow. Good one. Congrats to Will Hanselman. Here's a question from Kevin O'Connell.
because he's got some time
He's
on his
out of work
hands.
now, yeah.
Yeah, I think no relation. Why the hell haven't you done a rollerball episode? I was sure you'd do it during 70s Sports Movie Month. The mustaches, the lapels, the bonkers sport, the more bonkers plot, Jimmy fucking Kahn. I know you're all riding the high of finally doing Pulp Fiction after teasing it for so long, but to quote the wolf, let's not start sucking each other's dicks yet. I feel like every 5th episode, Bill is itching to let the rollerball discussion loose. Is he the only one who wants it? I would love to get into which current athletes would succeed at rollerball, how a rollerball fantasy would work. What the hell is the point of that scene of those rich people blowing up trees? These are all great comments.
When we finish this pod, Craig and I are going to do sort of a footnote pod about which emails we think you secretly sent.
No, I did not.
Bill is so handsome. When will you let him do rollerball?
I did
You are
it.
my son's spirit animal.
I think faking mailbag answers and questions is one of the worst things you can do as a host. I would never do it. Now, what's funny is Kevin O'Connell wrote like 4 or 5 different rollerball emails over he really wants it.
Okay.
I've never seen that movie. I have no relationship to it.
I think it should have gone in probably 70 Sports, but I'm sure we'll find a spot for it.
It might be the 50th anniversary. I think I had it
What
on
about
the schedule.
it's 75.
Jimmy Con July?
Jimmy July? Well, unfortunately, we've done most of his
I know.
movies.
That's the problem. Well, can we find 3 other Jimmys to put in July?
Just
Sure.
Jimmy
actors
Stewart,
named Jimmy.
yeah.
Jim Carrey, yeah.
Which current athletes would succeed at playing rollerball? Josh Allen. So rollerball. They're skating around a rink.
It's like a fake extreme sport, right?
It's like football crossed with the roller derby, and it's just incredibly violent.
Okay.
So Josh Allen would be kind of amazing at it. He would be my pick anyway. Craig's got to see that one.
Cooper DeJean.
New category idea from John Hageman. Here it is. Was there a porn parody of this movie? He just wants to know.
Yeah.
Could be a quiz style format that would generate some surprising results. I'm pretty sure the answer is yes for the Blair Witch Project. I immediately thought about how bad this would be for Google and viruses.
Yeah, I'll have to buy a
searching for this
second
stuff.
computer.
I
But-
did find a Reddit thread of like 150 porn parody titles that actually happened.
Was that on the Bill Simmons Reddit?
It was not. It was on some movies Reddit.
There are definitely porn parodies for most popular movies.
Well, I
Do they
went
still do those?
I don't know.
I went through and found some that have actually been done of movies we did on the Rewatchables, including Shaving Ryan's Privates,
Right.
Titty Slickers. I don't
Yeah.
remember that one.
It's a good
Forrest Hump,
Yeah.
The Sperminator, Come and Comer.
Oh,
Didn't
yeah.
know that existed.
Yeah.
What about Boob? Die Hard On,
Yeah.
Good.
When Harry Fucks Sally,
Good.
Legs Wide Shut, Goodwill Humping, My Best Friend's Wedding with 2 T's, and then Glad He Ate Her.
That
was
was
an
a
actual
gladiator.
porn. Yeah.
We
Okay,
should
so
make
it's
you guys come up with the porn title for every
Well,
movie.
there's something there.
Yeah.
I do think it is going to be when we're doing one going forward. I will check to see if there was a porn parody.
So, like for Manchester by the Sea, what would be the porn?
I don't. They probably didn't do that one. Do they still make porn
Man
parodies
in the
now?
CC?
Now
Yeah.
it's just like now they just do scenes. Do they even make movies anymore?
That's why I was asking
Yeah.
Craig. He's younger, you know.
Craig's like
Manchester
no
by the
comment.
Seaman? I don't know.
Category idea from Jordan Grimmer. Best worst 5-word summary of
Oh,
the
yeah.
movie, similar to Bill's movie trailer elevator pitch idea. Panelists offer their best or worst 5-word summary of the movie or their impression of the movie. Example, Heat. An LA bank heist unravels, or a guy reads book about metals. So I guess before we get into categories, we would all have to do a 5-word summary of the movie.
Yeah.
I'm not against this.
Yeah.
Or if I haven't seen the movie, you guys text me your 5-word summaries.
This
before
is
I
what,
watch
yeah,
it.
we're explaining to Craig what the movie is
Yeah.
in 5 words.
Godfather, Italian American family goes through decades.
No, that's 6 words.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I like the game of it. We may try it for a couple.
Italian
single
American
words.
family eats dinner.
Yeah. A big picture question from Captain Jack. What movie I'm glad Captain Jack's doing well, by the way. What movie have you always wanted to do, but you were scared nobody would listen? Also, what
Clearly,
movie have you
that
always
has not
wanted?
bothered us.
Well, also, what movie have you always wanted to do and are scared nobody would listen, but you're doing it anyway? CR, you want to go?
I mean, Cruising was the movie that I think we had teased for a really long time that we were like, would 17
We'll never
people
actually
listen
do
to
it.
this? And then I feel like culture met us kind of where we were. And
Now-
Cruising had like a little bit of a revival.
Blu-ray 4K
Yeah.
Cruising coming out in March. Seriously.
The
4K.
The
We
re-releasing
did
in
Cruising
theaters.
4K.
Yeah.
Are we doing the re-cruising when
I
that
would love
comes
to.
out?
What about you?
All right, so the movie I've always wanted to do, but I was scared nobody would listen, is Eddie and the Cruisers, which we've talked about forever.
Which is also hard because Eddie and the Cruisers is not on streaming, correct?
It's not on streaming. You and I,
We
you
got
told me it was
really
on
close.
TMC. I have it on cable.
Yeah.
It's saved on my thing. Craig's never seen it. It really hurts my feelings that it's not available. Everything's available. How is
But
it not on TV?
We've broken through that barrier before. We got Pump Up the Volume back on streaming.
The only one that was tough, I actually got a text from a friend of a friend who is a diehard Rewatchables fan, and they watch every movie that we cover. And she was asking how she could find The Vanishing. With
It's gone?
you can't find it.
The American Vanishing is gone.
The American Vanishing is
Really?
impossible to
Interesting.
find. You can't stream it anywhere.
Craig,
Jeff,
drink the coffee. Eddie and the Cruisers needs to come back. Tubi, you greedy motherfuckers. You're making so much money right now.
You got
And
the
don't think
Super
we
Bowl
haven't
red
noticed.
carpet, yeah.
Rewatchables movies are on your
We were
carousel.
watching football the other day,
Yeah.
and it was just like Tubi this and Tubi that. I was like, oh, look who's come
Yeah.
out and decided to
Oh.
play with the big boys.
Yes. Oh, you think you're better than us, Tubi. Just put Eddie and the Cruisers on there, and or else we're declaring
so
war
wait,
on you.
yours was Cruising.
That was the one that I was
Yeah, you
like,
didn't pick a
this
new
will
one.
be our last pod if we actually go for it.
But what's your one you want to do now, but you're scared nobody would listen? I mean, you've certainly sent me a couple. Why can't you just know off the top of your head? Pre-vaccine, you would have been able to come up with
Probably
it.
Yeah.
right.
So this is just niche movie that you love, but nobody else cares about. Or you think it's too controversial.
It would probably be. I honestly can't. The Cruising would just like be like, if you can do Cruising, if you can do Proof of
Then
Life, you
all
can
thing
do
is
anything.
open.
If you can do Pump Up the Volume, when
Yeah.
Pump Up the Volume's not available to be seen,
Yeah.
then what can't you do?
True.
Yeah, so like Carlito's Way is too big.
It's huge. I mean, I'm dying to do that.
So what movie have you always wanted to do and are scared nobody would listen, but you might do it anyway? I want to do Jim Cotta at some point.
What's that?
It might be a me and Kyle Branter.
Mm.
It's
Jim
this
Cotta?
movie. Yeah, I'm not even going to tell you what it's about.
Give
but
me the
it's-
five word.
So it's after
summary.
the '84 Olympics. It's Kurt Thomas, this gymnast that was won a gold medal, and they kind of make it. It's an action movie. He goes to some country, and he's got to rescue somebody. But during the movie, the action scenes, there's somehow gymnastics in them. So there's like a pommel horse where he fights a guy, but he swings in the pommel horse. I can't even describe how awful this movie is. And I was thinking Jim Cotta might be mine. All right, next one. This one's for you, CR. It's from Bobby Sleeth, 2 E's. I listened to the There Will Be Blood episode and laughed my fucking ass off when CR did the Jackson main line from Star is Born in Daniel Plainview's voice.
I'd forgotten I did that.
I'd like to have another look at your face, please. Which
Turn around! I'd like to look at your face. I get another look at you.
Therefore, I'd like to nominate Daniel Plainview as consideration for Would This Movie Be Better With category and suggest that Wayne Jenkins send some of the other candidates away for a very long time.
Yeah. Well, so
I love adding Daniel Plainview to that. That's a great idea.
do you
Should have
feel
thought of
like
it.
there should be a promotion and relegation system for
Ooh.
the?
Well,
would
we've
this
already
movie
got
be
rid of a
improved?
couple people,
Yeah,
right?
but we got rid of one and added.
But there
3.
needs to be
Yeah.
like 5 or 7,
Yeah.
and you
Do
get.
you feel like you have some Plainview in you in 2025?
Yeah.
All right. So we'll add him.
Yeah.
What
think
else are
that's
you
a
working
win.
on at home?
There's another one coming up that's even better
Jerry
than this.
Jones.
Yeah. Jerry
Would this movie have been improved with an 8-minute Jerry Jones monologue?
That's a good idea. I'm going to throw that in. A sequel
Like would
question.
Black Panther be improved if Jerry Jones was just like, here's how I punch cowboys?
Sit in front of a cue card for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
What would when that happened? At what point during the scene did you realize it was fucking awesome? It took about 40 seconds for me, and then I was like,
When he got a little
Wow.
misty.
Yeah, I was like, wow, am I on drugs or is this really
I also
good?
think that when they cut away to Billy Bob and Ham and the various like reaction shots, they seem legit impressed.
Yeah. I did. I asked Ham, and Ham said there was some editing.
Oh yeah.
I think Ham felt upstaged.
Calling out Jerry.
He was like, settle down.
Well, they're like, Don Draper, why don't you lie there with some tubes up your nose while
I
the
know.
Cowboys owner does a 10-minute scene?
Does Don Draper come back?
No.
Okay. A sequel question from Stephen McDonald. With Den of Thieves 2 out now and Heat 2 being worked on, have you asked Affleck what the Town 2 would look like? The answer is yes. I bring it up probably every time I've ever talked to him. He suggests...
Does Affleck suggest?
This is the emailer. Would Shine, who has strong gem traits, be all grown up, running a crew and tracking down Dougie, who may or may not be Shine's pop? That's a possibility. Would they be in conflict, or would Doug come out of retirement to mentor her both? Or is there a whole new storyline with Shine and Krista out of the picture? My feeling is, so Doug ends up
in Florida, right?
Florida Keys.
Yeah.
Right? He's checked out. He's got money. I think Shine is grown up and is involved in Charlestown again, and somehow somebody's in danger.
How old is Shine in the movie?
Shine's a little kid, so
She's like 20 now. Okay.
Shine would be 20, and maybe her and her boyfriend now are running Charlestown, and somehow somebody in Doug's life is in danger,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And he has to go back and save.
So you wanted to go back to Boston. You don't want Miami, the town.
Well, that could be the other way it goes. Is Shine and her boyfriend, who's basically like Gary Oldman in True Romance.
Yeah. Wash up in Florida.
She's in we got to get our revenge in the Florida Keys. And then it becomes this Florida Keys crossing the town.
Yeah. They could go down and get some mojitos.
A little running scared.
Right.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I think the town has to happen. I think there has to be a heist. And I think it has to be in Boston again.
Is there
in Charlestown.
another iconic Boston landmark that could be robbed? After
Beyond Fenway Park?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Boston Garden's gone. Not like Fenway. No, I don't think so. Maybe they could rob Harvard.
Oh,
It's like
yeah.
Goodwill Hunting
that's fun.
crossed
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
these fucking spoiled brats, rich kids going to Harvard. Get that money back.
Rob Harvard. What are you going to rob?
I don't know. I don't know.
Important documents.
I don't know. So you would set it in Massachusetts or the Keys?
Florida. I think people try to redo this. Like when they do sequels, I think they try to just run back the hits instead of like
That's
expanding
a good
it
call.
out.
Yeah.
And I think it would be really cool if it like Shine shows up in Florida and is like, I need $1 million by next week, or these guys in Boston are going to kill me because my boyfriend's gotten us in trouble.
Shine shows up.
And Doug is like,
It
I'll do
seems-
one last job for you.
Shine shows up. It seems good initially. How'd you find me?
Yeah.
We have a how'd you find me scene.
Yeah.
Then we have I'm just drifting around, blah, blah, blah. But then she
Do you
really
bring
has this
Blake
alter
Lively
ego.
back?
Oh, yes. We absolutely bring Blake
Yeah.
Lively back. Is she allowed to work still?
Sure,
Or
yeah.
she's okay. Yeah, she's back. I think.
Yeah.
Right?
We just won't cast Baldoni in it. He's out.
Baldoni's the bad guy. This is it. This is how,
This is how we
heal
bring
the
everybody
lawsuit.
together.
Yeah,
We bring all the 5 families
Baldoni's
together.
the drug lord in the Florida Keys. I will say, I think the Florida Keys is one of the great underrated movie
Yeah.
TV locations.
I was
I'm
so bummed
always
out.
in.
Yeah.
There could be a Florida movie month, probably, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What was the TV show we liked on Netflix? Bloodline, Bloodsport.
Bloodline. That was
Bloodline.
set in the Keys.
I watched that
Was that with
pre-vaccine.
Kyle Chandler.
Kyle Chandler, yeah.
Pre-vaccine. Jesus.
Where'd this come from?
I don't know. Now it's a running bit.
You just did like the other day. You did like here are the last 25 years of NBA history.
Right.
You're like, oh, I can't remember if
Yeah.
Baldoni is in this.
Bloodline had the guy Mendelsohn who ended up in
Ben Mendelsohn, yeah,
in Ozark.
uh-huh.
It had our guy Kyle Chandler.
Ben Mendelsohn's not in Ozark.
Wasn't he? He was season 3. Oh, maybe he wasn't.
No,
I'll get on it.
Who was the brother in who was Laura Linney's brother in Ozark? That wasn't
Tom
Ben Mendelsohn?
Pelfrey. That's-
Oh yeah, you're right.
yeah.
I'm mixing up my character actors I love. I like the Keys. New category from Jordan G. How about a best call out, or what I like to call the Lieutenant Weinberg Award for a character unnecessarily calling someone out? What did Colonel Jessup have against Lieutenant Weinberg? Well, it was veiled anti-Semitism.
yeah,
For example, in Old School, when Will Ferrell goes streaking, he says, "Come on, Snoopaloop," Or in Superbad, when Jonah Hill calls out Dave Franco and Jim Socker for pissing himself as a kid. Who says no to this category? You? You, editorial director Ryan? I'm not against it.
I like
we could
it.
throw it into the possibles.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep an eye out for it. I
Yeah.
don't know how many movies have this.
Yeah.
I think that happens a lot, like in spy thrillers. Like you'll all of a sudden get the Ed Norton, Chris Cooper character to like start screaming at people who are like, God damn it, I need a secure line. And you're
Right.
just like, whoa, this guy was just getting coffee a second ago.
So maybe it's like the Lieutenant Weinberg drive-by shooting award for
Oh, I like
most
that. Yeah.
unexpected like drive-by shooting of somebody else in the movie.
Yeah.
I don't mind that one. This is a good one. We're not going to be able to give it out that often. It's a new category from Jake Oakman. Some interesting names. The Jules Winfield That Guy Graduation Award. When a that guy gal so owns the world that they go from becoming a that guy to an actual name.
Like
overnight.
it was this role, this movie that elevated them.
Yes. So like I think Giamatti in Sideways is a really good one from this, right?
Great one. So he says this is named after the greatest that guy graduation in history when Sam Jackson played Jules and went from that guy from Goodfellas or Jurassic Park to Samuel motherfucking L motherfucking Jackson. Other examples he had Bradley Cooper in The Hangover, Glenn Powell in Top Gun Maverick.
Mm-hmm.
This is a great category, and it can be within the Joey Pants Award.
Yeah. Is there a graduation day in this
Yes.
in this film?
So
That's good.
I thought then Boogie Nights had two.
Wahlberg.
Cheadle?
No, it had John C. Reilly and Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Oh.
I think
Oh.
before and after, I knew John C. Reilly, but I didn't. And then after that, I was like, John C. Reilly, I love that guy.
Yeah.
So, but Sam is the best one. So I'm
Yeah.
going to keep an eye on this one too. I like the graduation concept. Just a fact from Todd A. in Dublin, Ohio. Love the Rewatchables. Big fan of all things The Ringer. I can't believe you guys can spend so much time on the Woman Veranders and not cover the fact that Gretchen Moll's real-life husband, Todd Williams, used to be married to Famke Janssen. The guy pulled off the real-life reverse Mike McD. Didn't know that. Didn't come up with the half-assed research.
How is it that we've done Rounders twice?
We've done Rounders twice.
And that never
Didn't
came
know.
up.
This is really good. New category from Rob Shire. The Steven Seagal Hard to Kill Award for did the sex scene in the movie need a better intimacy coordinator?
Yeah.
Remember,
I was thinking
remember
about
that?
this. Roadhouse would have this, maybe.
Yeah.
Basic Instinct.
Sure.
Yeah.
I just like having a Steven Seagal category. Remember when you didn't know who he was and then we brought him into your life?
Yeah.
And it was one of the best things we ever did?
Now I watch Under Siege weekly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steven Seagal heard about no intimacy coordinator in Honora, and he was like, I respect it. We didn't have one
Good
on Hard to
move.
Kill either.
Good move.
Way to go, Sean Baker.
Category idea from Mark in Ottawa. This didn't quite get there, but I wanted to hit it. For movies that have a huge twist, rate any movie's crazy unexpected twist. And then he said, I actually thought of this when listening to the Sixth Sense podcast, which is clearly a 10 out of 10 for a twist. Psycho's 10 out of 10. Darth Vader being Luke's dad. The Matrix, 9 out of 10. Humans are just batteries. Fight Club, 8 out of 10. You could also have fun when the intended surprise twist is blatantly obvious. Oregon still being alive in the Two Towers was a 1 out of 10. I don't know what that means.
Aragorn.
Aragorn?
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings.
So that's a 1 out of 10 twist.
I guess so, yeah. There's not a lot of twists in Lord
So
of the
next
Rings.
time we do a movie with a twist, I think maybe
Yeah.
we bring in the scale. But then
Is Twin Towers coming in 2025?
it's not.
Okay.
But then this is the end of the email.
Late period Bill getting into Tolkien would be amazing.
I've also got a related entertaining story about another plot twist movie, Star Trek: The Wrath of Khan. My Trekkie buddies and I went opening night. The 7 p.m. show sold out, so we just waited in line for the 9:30. When the 7 p.m. show lets out, one of the guys yells out, Spock dies at the end. Parentheses, personally, I'd rate this an 8 out of 10. Some large guy who was in line next to us for the 9:30 steps out of line, punches the guy out, and then calmly walks back into our line. Moral of the story, don't mess with the Trekkies. That would have been an amazing thing to see in person.
I have a similar story to this, which was like spring 96, like whenever Menace to Society came out.
Yeah.
I had already seen it in theaters and was going back for the second time with a bunch of friends, but like was a kid and couldn't control myself. So I was like, and then there's just a fucking amazing shot when they go through there. And then this guy's like, bang and bang. And this dude just turns around and goes, excuse me, I haven't seen the movie yet. I just like melted.
That's it. You're like, I'm never talking to line again.
Yeah.
I had a college professor. I took a film class, and he was talking about movie spoilers and how if you haven't seen these certain movies, there's a certain amount of time where if you haven't seen it, he didn't care.
Yeah.
He asked the class, it was a big class, 200-300 people. He said, raise your hand if you haven't seen The Sixth Sense. I hadn't yet. And maybe 18, 20, 25 people raised their hand out of 300. And then he goes, Bruce Willis is a ghost. And I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? And then he was like, has anyone here seen Fight Club? And I hadn't yet. And I got up and I left.
Did you really? Did
Yeah.
you go back to the class or did you drop it right there?
No, I just left for the rest. I was
Why
like,
did he do that?
yeah,
That's
he
so
sucked.
weird.
That guy sucked. I forget his name, but look at
I
me now.
told this story in the Usual Suspects pod. I told the story when Jacko made me mad and I ruined Usual Suspects for him. That
Yeah.
was the proudest I've ever been. He was being a dick. I was like, Kevin Spacey.
There's nothing worse.
He's like, whoa,
There's
why?
nothing worse
Why?
than spoiling a movie for somebody.
Category suggestion from George in the UK. The Forrest Gump Premature Ejaculation Award. What do you think this is?
Movie ended too quickly.
Yeah. The movie finishes sooner than you'd expected.
I was wondering what the reverse of this would be. Like, what is they went on for another 20 or 30 minutes longer than
The
I thought.
Viagra.
Yeah, it's just like the one more pump. Like what is the reverse Forrest Gump that where you're like, oh wow, so Den of Thieves, like we're still going, huh? Now we're in England.
This movie ended 4 times. Yeah.
Yeah, who did that in a movie? I was going to say Bradley Cooper in Limitless. Oh, it's the Dirk Diggler.
Yes.
Jack,
Yeah.
I can do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. A request from Michael Broussard. I love your podcast on the Rewatchables. I'm 44 and enjoy listening to you guys talk about films that I love. I've been waiting a long time for you to do The Hunt for Red October. Many fans and I consider this an important film to cover as it was masterfully done with an outstanding cast. Please consider this movie for us raging fans.
One of my favorite films.
So this is just a request, no question. Just do Hunt for Red October.
There's a reason we haven't done it yet. Chris knows the reason.
Because we're gonna go to war with Russia and you're waiting for the right peg.
I told you to watch Inside Moves, and I would do
Oh,
Hunt for Red
right.
October. You didn't fucking watch it. All of 2024.
See, I think
This
there's
guy, Michael Broussard, sitting there waiting for us
See,
to do
that's
Hunt
Bill's
for Red
burner.
October.
we,
Nope.
There's
Okay.
we have an opportunity for a fun trend every year where Chris and Sean have to make you watch a movie that we do in the Rewatchables, and then you have to make the two of them watch a movie that we do in the Rewatchables.
Category coming up. But just so you know,
That's what we're hanging
the greedy overlords at Tubi
on. I will put it on.
and selfish Chris Ryan, and meanwhile, Inside Moves on Tubi, at least for now.
I'm gonna put it up on Letterboxd. You'll see it when I watch Inside Moves. It's gonna be this weekend.
You know what? I won't see it because I'm not on Letterboxd.
I'll take a screenshot and send it to you.
Oh, what's your watch tonight? Oh. Theme month suggestion from Logan Van Winkle. These names are like nuts.
That's because they're all from you.
Yeah.
All AI generated.
So this is an interesting theme month. Rotten Rewatchables, a month of rewatchables that deserve better on Rotten Tomatoes and currently hold a score of 50% or less. Suggestions: Billy Madison, Ace Ventura, Rat Race.
Didn't we do some kind of No, was that on Big Picture? I can't remember. Did we do some sort of inverted month or something like that?
No, I used to do the Rotten Tomatoes scores before Raj,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Fantasy would get super upset about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
just like it.
But
as
now you do
usual.
Roger Ebert as Chat GPT, which is more offensive than Rotten Tomatoes. so-
Or brilliant. Depends where you're sitting.
Is your dream to replace me and Sean and Craig with actual Siskel and Ebert Chat
Which is,
GTPs?
is that possible? Through
Probably.
technology?
Yeah, we're a couple years away.
I don't mind the idea of Rotten Month. I'd have to look to see what movies. There's definitely been some movies.
Oh,
that
I
are
would like
under
to see the
50%.
stats on the movies we've done. Like how many below sub 50 percenters
A
have we
decent
done?
amount, I bet.
Do we need like a Billy? Who's the guy in Moneyball? Billy Bean's assistant.
Paul DiPodesta. But
No, but the fake
Jonah Hill's
composite
character?
character. Yeah, Jonah
Yeah.
Hill's
Yeah.
fake character. We need like a Jonah Hill for the rewatchables.
a stats guy.
Advanced analytics.
Yeah, just like an advanced analytics.
There's some really
department.
good spreadsheets out there. People do the work. I just have to look them up.
Yeah, it would be fun to know the worst rated movie we've ever done.
Well, the most disliked movie ever done was Country Strong. People are still upset, but we did that for your wife, Liz Kelly.
The movie's not that bad. People need to
Movie's
relax.
good. People can fuck off. Category idea from Connor Cusson. A suggestion for a new category is, when would I have died? You're the main character or member of a team crew. At what point in the movie do you think you actually would have died? Example in Die Hard, Carl's brother kills me in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So
I like
good.
this one.
This is good.
Really solid.
I have a couple. They're pretty obvious though. Like, I think I would have swum out after the girl in the first scene of Jaws. Like, I would have just been like,
Oh, so you die in Jaws.
immediately
Yeah.
first scene. I'm not making any of the leaps and Raiders in the first with the boulder rolling
So
behind
Boulder
me.
just gets you.
Yeah,
Yep.
I just don't have much of a broad jump. Then there are moments where I might have died as a bystander, which I really like, which is like my financial advisor is right by the bank robbery in Heat. So I can imagine like coming out and being like, I'm really glad I invested in my Roth. Just like real bullets.
That's a good one.
What about you?
This is a good category.
Well, I was thinking about Castaway.
Uh-huh.
How long I
And if
would
you
have
make
toughed
it
it
through
out
the
on the
plane
island.
crash, yeah.
Yeah, not knowing what was happening with sports. Forget about family. Like, just be like, fuck, what's going on in
What's
the
up
NBA
with the
playoffs
Cs?
right now? Like, checking, like, it's April 19th. I wonder who's in round one. Yeah, I think I would have probably attempted what he did with the raft, trying to get over way sooner.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
probably dead within a year. Amityville Horror was another one I was thinking. I probably would have stayed in the house too late.
Yeah, I mean, you're currently doing it, right?
Well, no, we're good. We have a
Oh,
good
the
relationship
ghost
with the
is
ghost
chilled
right
out?
now. Yeah,
That's
it's
good.
okay. It's the best it's been. um, but
Did you have like a mediator come in? What happened?
no, it's good. The
Okay.
ghost likes us. What do you have? Anything good?
Any zombie apocalypse movie, I'm actually probably just ending it myself. Like, I Am Legend, there's no way I could get anywhere close to where Will Smith got. First 10 minutes, I'm just ending it. I see one zombie, it's over.
I was saying to my wife, because I told her about this category, because I can't see unless I have contacts or glasses. I was
Yeah.
thinking basically everything before 1920, I'm gone.
Oh, like you couldn't
I just
do
can't. Like, yeah.
any Unforgiven. You're just like,
Yeah,
I'm a blind guy.
killed in the silent
Yeah.
saloon. I'm like, what's going on? Is that Will Penny?
oh, that's just drunk Billy. He can't see.
I'm just drunk and blind. Theme month suggestion from Josh Lento. This goes to what we talked about earlier. A different host selects the movie of their choice, co-host. Each week could be a specific selection of one of the rotating hosts other than Mr. Bill Simmons. Bill has no veto power during this month. I was thinking the theme could be referred to as much to Bill's chagrin.
Yeah.
I think this is a great idea.
What do you do if on Much to Bill's Chagrin month we put up like insane numbers because we do Lord of the Rings?
It's just Lord of the Rings 1, 2, and 3.
Lebowski.
It's just every Captain America.
I do like this
would
idea.
you be on these Much to Bill's
Yeah.
Chagrin?
Yeah,
pods?
he
I
has
have
to
to
be.
be. I'm just hosting, playing point guard, but
But would you be like Julius Randle and like ruining the vibe and
no,
like not passing?
I've never do the
I
Julius
don't,
Randle.
I don't think you should host if you haven't seen it, though, right? Somebody else has to host
No,
it.
I'd have to watch it.
Right, but
Yeah.
then it should be still Chris hosting Lord of
Oh,
the Rings.
good idea.
Right.
Yeah, so if it's Chris or Sean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
It's still the three of you, but just they're hosting.
But if Van wanted to do
Or Van,
one,
whoever,
so Van
yeah.
would, so you basically if it's your movie, you have to host the pod.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's a lot of thought that goes into this because you want to pick one that he would never pick.
Right.
But that he would still like be a good sport and watch and be into.
Or you could make him watch.
But there are a bunch of
Avengers
movies that I
Endgame.
know you want to do, but you're like pacing yourself for, right?
Yeah, but it would be. I mean, doing what was the Twin
Towers.
Towers?
Yeah.
That one.
The two
Like, I
it's
don't.
the two towers.
Two Towers.
I haven't seen it either.
Would I have to see the first one before the second one? Like
I
how
guess that's
prepped
tough.
am I?
Yeah,
Uh,
we should, right?
Yeah, you should
So
probably.
maybe
see
it's
the
like no
first one.
sequels.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. No sequels.
So you do like some sort of UK crime thing that
It'd be
where it's
great if
just
you,
English
Sean,
people.
and Van just chose the 3 Lord of the Rings movies in a row. That'd be
Yeah,
good.
I mean, I would probably pick something like. I would probably pick something like Hot Fuzz or Ex Machina or something like that. Like they're not that far out.
So I'm just on the pod. I'm like the
Yeah.
fourth
Yeah.
co-host, and occasionally I have a couple points.
Right. But the point is
Most
not
of
to
the time,
pick
I'm just like, oh man,
this.
this fucking crime drama in the
People
UK.
would love that.
That's like when
Yeah.
you invite me on to do. I think I came on with you guys to do Alive, right? Didn't I do that movie with you guys?
Yeah,
Yeah, it'll be like that. I hadn't seen it before.
that movie changed your life.
It did. Altruistic cannibalism.
Another theme month idea from Mitchell Moore. who says, thank you for the rewatchables and all the laughs and insights you provide each week. We really appreciate all the emails, by the way. My suggestion for a new category is Unwatchables Month. A group of movies you've mentioned multiple times that you know don't work, but you can't help watching. The list is as follows. Bugsy, Indian Summer, Another 48 Hours, Angel Heart. I really resented that he
Mitchell,
didn't think Angel Heart.
I gotta say,
Angel
these
Heart
are pretty
works great.
watchable
Yeah,
movies.
I like. I don't love Bugsy, but I do. I don't think it's basically the flawed rewatchables concept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think we should probably bring that back in 2025.
I think we need to do the canceled rewatchables month.
We have that.
Such a good
down.
idea.
Yeah. Another theme month idea from Amy Fleischer. She's calling it Shit Goes Sideways Very Quickly. Adventures in Babysitting, Empire Records, go. Don't tell mom the babysitter's dead. I'm throwing in Long Kiss Goodnight is like this too, but that's Shit Goes Sideways.
Yeah,
is
I would
a good
also
idea for a
throw
month.
After Hours in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
decent idea. So this is from Logan in Hawaii. He says, Aloha Rewatchables. His category idea is, how would Van Lathan get out of this one? It was a great impromptu moment during Den of Thieves, the re-Den of Thieves, when Chris Ryan asked Van Lathan how he'd excuse himself out of an accidental text. Mr. Lathan Jr.'s response was very entertaining and would be a great addition should opportunity allow in a given rewatch. I like that.
Yeah. Like, how would you get out of, if you were Karen Hill, how would you get out of flushing all the cocaine when Henry comes home from jail?
Right.
It's just like, that was all the money we had. Would you be like,
Karen!
you know, it's like, I don't want to live in a world where we have to sell cocaine just to make ends meet, you know?
Yeah. What was the right move for her there?
Probably just to be like, what do you want? The cops were searching the house. Did you want to go away for like federal drug possession?
The move is she should probably just leave.
Yeah.
How good would you be at flushing cocaine down the toilet?
What is the
Because I
best
would
way to
be too,
dispose of it?
Like, too
Well,
disappointed.
because they always shake it,
Yeah.
and then the cocaine just gets everywhere. You really gotta like. It's more about how you open the bag and
No one's ever
empty the
flushing
content.
cocaine down the toilet in a patient way. You know, like it's usually if you're flushing it down the toilet, I think
you
it's
have
because
seconds.
I think the DA is outside. Yeah.
Would the toilet really flush that well with all the cocaine?
Where
in
else
it?
are you going though? You can't go sink or shower.
This is
or
a great
something.
YouTube series. Is Chris and Bill try things that they've seen in movies?
Well, I worry when I like put gum in the toilet. I'm like, is that thing gonna flush? But like 2 kilos of cocaine just in 10 flushes
oh god.
feels like I don't know.
Greg, why don't you go get us a kilo of
Yeah,
cocaine?
Craig, get us some fake coke.
I need 24 hours.
Question from Jürgen Anderson, 2 S's. Hi, have a question for you. Who is Diane Waiters?
Do you think Jurgen's from the States?
I don't.
I do not.
Okay.
This got me thinking though. We should probably explain who Dion Waiters is.
Did he say Diane?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said Diane Waiters.
That's fair.
Because Dion Waiters now has not played for how many years?
We've discussed replacing the name Dion Waiters with a
I don't
different
feel like
player,
we
right?
can.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Dion specifically works for the movies that we love to talk about, and it's
Yeah.
a celebration. I was thinking that there is like a Sam Darnold award that we could give out to somebody who has like an incredible 3/4 of a movie
Oh, and then just it
and then
falls
just
apart.
vanishes. Yeah,
Or it's like they're only good in this movie, like Michael Madsen in Tarantino
Yeah.
films or something.
yeah, that's good.
I'm only good in this system, like system
Yeah,
QBs.
system roles.
It's like people who are only good in Sorkin or only
Yeah.
good in Paul Thomas Anderson movies or whatever. Yeah,
Like John Michael Higgins in the Christopher Guest movies.
Hmm.
The Sam Darnold award is really interesting. Is that for the movie or a
it
character?
could also be for their career.
I think it's character who only works in this movie, or actor who only works in this movie, or
But
with
Sam
this
Darnold's
director.
a different one. That's like you were doing good for a while and then the wheels came off.
Unless you just want to treat it as he was great with Kevin O'Connell in this system.
And then we would have to do the Kevin O'Connell press conference afterwards where he's just like, I just wish him the best on his journey.
Anyway, Dion Waiters, he played 418 NBA games. He was a lottery pick for Cleveland. He was 2013 draft. I think it was the 4th or 5th
Did he
pick.
come out of high school?
No,
went to
he
Syracuse,
spent.
didn't
Yeah, he
Oh,
was
Syracuse.
at Syracuse. He peaked at 15.9 a game on a crappy 2014 Cavs team before LeBron came back. Bounced around, went to OKC, Miami, finished with the Lakers. But the reason we really named the heat check after him was because sometimes he would just come in and
Yeah.
make everything.
The microwave. Yeah.
He'd come in like 3 minutes, he would have 10 points. So the idea of Deion Waiters was better than Deion Waiters because
Yeah.
most of the time he would come in and miss a couple threes. But then every once in a while, Deion Waiters heat check would happen. So I guess the question is, do we dump Deion Waiters for a more modern heat check guy?
Do you feel like there is a comparable modern equivalent to Deion? I feel like this guy has gotten a little bit legislated out of the game.
The Deion Waiters heat check guy?
The Lou Williams, I came in and I dropped 21 in 18 minutes, but I can't play defense and,
I mean, so Cam Thomas is one, but I don't know what his shelf life's going to be. Peyton Pritchard's a good one these days because Peyton Pritchard's either 3 points or 28.
If I was legitimately like, who's Peyton Pritchard for a second?
I don't know. The Deion, though, it feels like we're kind of stuck with it.
It's such a staple of the show.
It's also, he's an icon of our pod.
Yeah.
All right. I think I agree.
But we can add Sam Darnold just to mix it up.
I do like the system actor idea.
Here's a heat question from Harley. I don't know if Harley's last name or first name. How many houses does Neil McCauley have and where are they? So he writes down, the house with no furniture where Chris sleeps is clearly modern, sleek, and by the water, maybe Malibu.
Yeah, it's Malibu Colony.
When he meets Edie at the cafe, he says he lives up here. So maybe that's Hollywood Hills. They go to the house, stand on the balcony, great view. Seems too expensive to be a rental. Also well furnished. Then he leaves her that morning. So was he leaving her alone at his house? Was that her rental or his? Chris Ryan, I gave you a heads up on this question. So what's the real estate in
Neil lives in Malibu. He lives on the beach. When he says, I live up here, he's joking because she goes, that's really funny. I think he's alluding to the idea that he lives upstairs from the restaurant. There's a couple of times where he says things to Edie that are like probably purposely to like lead her astray if she was ever questioned by the police. Like I think he says he's from the Bay, stuff like that, that he did time in the Bay, but he's not from there. And so I think that the house that they sleep in that first night is a rental. And A, it's movie magic. So like obviously people's houses are usually nicer in the movies and TV. And B, it was the 90s. So maybe Edie could get like a decent place in the hills.
Right.
That had a good view. So that's Edie's place that he leaves her at.
So what part of the hills do we think that's in?
I thought maybe Beechwood or like kind of like that area.
Okay. And then where do we think the guy who fucks them over and then he shoots him through the TV when he's watching a hockey game? What's that guy's name?
Oh, yeah.
Van Zant?
Yeah, Van Zant.
Where was his house? Because he's climbing up a canyon on that one. That had to
Brentwood?
be Hollywood. Yeah. So we only think one house for Neil.
Yeah.
And probably renting.
Yeah.
He probably rents
Maybe
a
he
year
has
at
a
a
Maybe an
time.
apartment in the South Bay. Kind of get away.
I could see him having a safe house. Like a
Torrance.
yeah.
Think he has a burner room like Raheem?
Definitely.
What's the burner room?
Raheem had his burner room. He talks about it in Vegas. He has a burner room. It's this hotel room and then a burner room.
I don't know what that means. What is a burner room?
It's a second room.
For what?
Do whatever you need.
It's a second.
If you want to take somebody back.
My apartment has 3 burner rooms
Yeah.
then, I guess.
Burner room. He didn't elaborate.
Oh, man.
They just say Joe House has been talking about it ever since. New category from Matt Hennessy. This is wonderful. In honor of Alec Baldwin's Captain George Ellery from The Departed, it's the 2 weeks with pay award for the movie character who should have been fired from their job.
This is the Vincent Chase Award, right?
Yeah.
Are we sure this character is good at their job?
Yeah, so we'd have to lose Vincent Chase for this.
I think we could put George Ellerby in for Vincent Chase, yeah.
Is it time? Vincent Chase 20-year anniversary?
I don't know. Entourage is coming to Netflix. I feel it. We might have to keep it around.
He had examples, the mayor from Jaws, the Italian detective team and the talented Mr. Ripley, and all the employees of Empire Records. This is a
Empire
good one.
Records coming up a lot in this mailbag.
I know. A lot of people like Empire
Yeah.
Records. 30th anniversary coming up. Might be on the schedule. A theme month from Jen Dux, who says she's a longtime listener and loves the podcast. She had a quick category idea, best FanDuel line odds, as we're doing something.
Yeah.
I guess it would be what were the FanDuel live odds for,
Oh, yeah. What are the odds that
like Neil's about to kill Wayne Grove?
Yeah, that he just stays
It's
in the
easy
car.
just to use Heat as the prism for all these possible categories. Best FanDuel line odds. How long does Chris stay together with the Ashley
What
Judd
were the odds
character?
Charlene was just going to let Chris enjoy this night?
Right. Anyway, he asks when is Philly month, or she asks when is Philly month going to happen? You've teased some Philly movies. Silver Linings Playbook last year was great. I think there's plenty of meat left.
What's on the Philly Mount Rushmore that
bone.
hasn't been done yet?
So-
Well, we've done a bunch.
Jen suggested Witness, which I think it's being scouted. At Close Range is Lancaster, but it's still an awesome movie. And then after that, we pretty much just have 12 Monkeys left.
So we did Philadelphia, we did Trading Places, we did Blowout,
Silver
which I
Linings.
think were 3 of, and then Silver Linings. So we've done
Rocky.
some already.
And Rocky.
Well, we haven't done Rocky 1 and we haven't done Rocky 2.
Oh.
Yeah, only 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Keeping people guessing.
Yeah, we did Creed.
Yep. Did Creed live.
There's probably a couple others we forgot. What was that vigilante movie with Tom Skerritt fighting back? That was in Philly.
Was it?
Yeah, Tubi. Greedy motherfuckers at Tubi. Fun idea from Andrew Rowan, 2 A's. I think a good category to add when you're doing a crime heist cop movie is where does the inevitable "Are you a cop?" scene rank?
Yeah.
Compared to Den of Thieves, Departed, Fast and Furious. In general, I think the next time we do one of these movies, we really have to. Need a bunch of special categories.
It would be fun to apply this to like Grand Budapest Hotel, though. Oh, you a fucking cop!
I was thinking of the heist movie staples. They're onto us.
Yeah.
Are you a cop? Nobody's ever broken into this bank before.
Yeah.
We're here for the bank's money, not yours. And I need to know right now, are you in?
Mm.
That's
Also,
the 5 things that have to be in every.
I do this job and then I'm out.
Yeah, one last job for sure.
Yeah.
One last job. Yeah. Still feel like we can write one of these. Reader idea from Ryan McCabe. Rewatchables is the best podcast available. He praises us for a little bit here. One of the categories that needs to be improved is the CR thinks Luke Wilson hottest take. You all have great ideas, but as a longtime Simmons fan, thank you, and supporter of Mailbags, they've consistently taught me that your fans have the craziest and best hottest takes. That's legitimately how every great Mailbag was built in the old days. He's correct.
Yeah.
The emails were great. Tie this to the old fans. Call it the Mailbag hottest take. Solicit hot takes from readers and present those for commentary. Y'all do a fine job, but I know readers and listeners would kill this. I'm not against this idea.
Well, there's only one. You do have to release the movie.
This really
a week
is
in
like
advance.
it comes down to one man.
Yeah.
Well,
One thing we could do.
I don't think you
is-
can leak the movie ahead of time because then we're getting all these ideas that would fuck up the podcast.
So one thing we could do
After the
is
fact, we
on
could
the
do it.
next show
They could also send
Or
them to
the
me.
next show.
as a special like Wednesday YouTube thing. We could read out the reader Luke Wilson hottest takes.
Maybe that's what we do. I like the idea of hot takes from readers about movies we've done. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Some
you,
idea.
you don't
there.
want anybody getting in your airspace when you're thinking about.
Well, you could have them
No,
email me
I'm
and I
always
could go
like-
through them.
I'm always like really hesitant of like going on like if there's like a 500 post Reddit thread
Right.
about the movie.
Right.
I want to like come up with my own ideas on the movie, and I always feel like that screws me up.
And then I'm
always.
like, that was on Reddit.
It's like fuck. From James Rowe. He's a day one Rewatchables fan. His trilogy, Holy Trinity, is Godfather, Armageddon, The Town. I have an idea that while I don't think it works as a Rewatchables category, is perfect for a Bill and CR segment. A fantasy draft between Bill and CR of heist movie crew members to build your own crew for heist. 5-round draft, snake order, 1 crew leader, best friend road dog, 2 role players. 5th pick is the first to die.
Did you
so-
prep this?
Well, we decided we were instead of doing a
We'll
draft.
we want to challenge ourselves.
Yeah, we're gonna try to come up with a heist crew together. So the ringleader has to be Neil McCauley,
Yeah.
right?
He's all-time number 1.
Are we just doing Michael Mann movies, or is this from? Any
I think we do
film?
anything. I think we do everything.
Okay,
Macaulay's number 1.
Yeah.
He's the signal caller. Okay.
which
I
is
think
funny
he
because
is.
he honestly does not live through his heist. Ultimately,
Uh-huh.
you know, so it's like he is 0-1 as far
Is
as
there
the
a
movies
Doug
go.
McCraig case?
Who would you rather take orders from?
Neil McCauley.
Yeah, me
I
too.
feel like he knows his shit.
Yeah.
I think you need somebody who's less about the violence and more about the smarts.
Let's make
yeah.
a rule that you can only draft one guy from a movie.
Or all the guys from one movie.
Okay, then who's the fucking size for?
Well, who's the number 2 guy? I think has to be Jem, right?
Who's your road dog is definitely Jem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's Kyle did?
So now we have a movie with Neil McCauley.
I will make
and Jem.
an argument. Road dog could be Rust from the Ocean's movies. Brad Pitt.
Ooh.
Really, really good road
It's a
dog.
good one.
Wow.
Yeah. Maybe
It's a good
even
one.
more fun than Jem. Jem
Yeah.
gets you in a lot of fights. Jem gets you in a lot of trouble.
What do we do about like can Merriman not be the lead guy, but also be in the crew anyway?
Well, in truth, Not
Maybe
to spoil
he's-
Den of Thieves, he's not really the lead guy in Den of Thieves. It just gets revealed at the end that that was always Donnie.
Right, true.
So yeah, Merriman could be third.
All right, so far we have Neil McCauley and Jem. You want to throw Ocean's 11 in there too?
Yeah, let's do Rust and Merriman for 3 and 4.
Mm,
I really need Sizemore in here from Heat.
kind of a wild card.
I just need him. What was his name in the movie? I'm blanking. Chris no, not Shahurlis. That wasn't whatever his name was.
It was Chirito.
Chirito.
Yeah.
Who blew it all by just calling one guy slick when everybody had just been blown up, but somehow remembered that little detail.
Yeah. You're gonna get the phone book. Do it anyway.
Because he needs to be in this so he can have his one big scene.
He's blinking.
I need
Yeah.
a one big scene for my number 4 guy.
Sure.
I need some size of them.
Okay, so let's lose Merriman for Chirito then.
Yeah, I don't know how Merriman and Chirito would interact. Feels like there'd be some alpha dog stuff with them.
Yeah.
Little Russell Wilson, Justin Fields. It's like, whose corner is
Rust
this?
is good because he'll keep everybody calm. He's
Yeah,
kind of in a
all he's doing is
non-violent
eating
crime.
nachos in the
Yeah,
back and
yeah.
kind of hanging out.
So he's in a
looking
great
good.
suit.
Yeah.
Is there a wisecracking guy for like the 4th spot?
Yeah, I was thinking maybe Buscemi from Reservoir Dogs.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That is good.
Just
I
to
like
bring
that.
a little firecracker energy.
Yeah, guys, I think that's what some of these movies miss is the one funny. I was trying to make this case with Den of Thieves, but it's somebody who's keeping it light. And then the driver is who?
Gosling from Drive.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Baby Driver, Ansel Elgort.
I'm going to go Gosling. Yeah.
Can we take cops and put them in the heist?
Sure. You want them to be on the wrong side of the law, or you just want them
I
chasing
really-
the thieves?
I don't know if you've seen this movie, but it's Miami Vice. It came out in 2006.
I have.
I really like Jamie Foxx's performance in that movie,
Me
and I
too.
feel like he could have been good guy or bad guy
Yeah.
with the way he plays it. I almost feel like he could have just been the driver, like the Haysbert character.
Yeah. Do we have any room for Gong Li for Isabella to be in here? For
To
Miami
be
Vice?
as like the love interest of
Yeah.
the. So who's like your number 1 heist love interest? Gong Li is basically just saying over and over again that there wasn't enough time's luck.
I got to be honest, man.
Lively?
I got to say Lively.
Yeah, now we're talking.
If I'm being completely real, it's Lively.
But who's Lively dating out of the crew we just?
Well, that's the fun part. Is that she's like got something with one of the guys, but Neil's always loved her.
And
you know?
she gets eyes on Rust,
Yeah.
and it's over.
All right, we'll keep workshopping this. The important thing is that Neil has
Wait,
to.
did we pick a first guy to die?
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah,
But-
we get.
Belushi from Thief always had that energy, you know?
It's big doofus. There's no way this guy's making it to
Yeah.
the 50-minute mark of the movie.
Yeah.
Well, the guy in the town, the guy who gets his head shot off
Oh, yeah.
when he's driving the tattoo guy, but he lasted, I guess, till the end. Theme months from Josh Brill. Comeback month. Much needed hits that brought a star back into the conversation, like The Wrestler or The Nutty Professor. Underrated month. The Other Guys, Great White Hype, Outside Providence, Pop Star. Comedy classics, that's easy. In honor of SNL's 50th, maybe you do something for that. That might be on the agenda. And then Oscar movies, I thought was interesting.
Yeah. Best Pictures.
Best Picture winners.
Best Picture winner month.
Yeah.
Or Best Picture. Yeah. Best Picture winner
Because
month.
when else are we doing like Network or One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest,
Yeah.
movies like that?
I would do Network whenever, but
Terms
yeah.
of Endearment?
Yeah.
Did that one?
Out of Africa.
New category from Eric Ritvo. This is great. This is going right in. The Don Dawson Sasha Jenkins Award from Dazed and Confused for the actor in the film that you cannot believe didn't become a bigger star.
Yeah.
So you would have Dana Willer
From
Nicholson.
Fletch.
Yeah, be your number 1. Mine would be
Fletch.
Lisa Elbecker.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a good one.
But I like naming a category after Don Dawson. It could also be the who's the guy in Swingers who we never saw again?
Oh yeah, the third guy.
Sue.
Oh, yeah. Not Ron Livingston, but the other guy.
Patrick Van
Yeah.
Horn
Yeah.
is Sue.
Yeah.
And he was just never in another movie. It's like, what happened to that guy? I do like capturing, and it feels like a cousin of that guy. Like, why weren't you more of a thing?
Yeah. It's Linklater movies are really good for that
Yeah.
because he's so good at casting, but then those people are not always like super professional.
I think we add that to the
professionalized actors.
hodgepodge
Yeah.
where somebody could agree to do that. A plea from Felix K. It's come to this. I'm a 50-year-old man emailing a podcast to request a movie that should have been done a long time ago. Sorry. Scarface. What am I missing? Seems like a no-brainer.
This is not my fault. You can say Hunt for
Been
October
saving
is
it.
my
There's
fault.
some that are just, on ice in the fridge waiting to be done. We're doing
Are
Scarface
there any
at some
movies
point.
that we've done, say in 2024, that you were like, I wish we had done that earlier?
To open the door for doing it yet again later.
Mm.
We probably should have done Pulp earlier.
You let it build up in your head.
I also think there are so many movies that you guys did in like 2017, 18 that were so good. You came out so hot for the first 15, 20 movies.
Yeah,
They were
I
just
didn't know we were
banger
gonna
after
do
banger
this.
after
Didn't-
banger.
Didn't know we were
But a lot of
going
those,
under.
you didn't have the categories for those. You could bring all those back.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some good ones like Point Break and Speed. And new category from Josh Ramshaw. The Kyle Brand Award for Is This Movie Better as a Menachem Golan production? Really solid. Probably not out of that categories, but a great joke.
Yeah.
I would like to add that I would love to do the 80s action trailer voice for movies that would like, what would be the most inappropriate use of 80s action trailer voice on something like,
Like we're doing Philadelphia.
yeah, like Remains of a Day. He's just a butler. But what if like
Manchester by the Sea.
Yeah.
That's good.
He's lost everything, but he gained it all back.
Maybe that should be added to the director's commentary of the sports announcers. Like,
In a
should
world,
80 actions
yeah.
voice be there? From Eric Hoover. This isn't a suggestion, it's more a fact, but I thought it was interesting. After listening to the Friday Night Lights episode, I would love to submit a nominee to dethrone the undisclosed truck stop coin toss. He's a lifelong racing fan. He says the 1969 coin toss between Ogden Phipps, Claiborne Farms owner, horse racing royalty, and Penny Chenery was the most important in sports history. And what happened was the 1969, I'll skim it through, but the 1969 breeding season, this horse called Cicada did not conceive. Cicada.
Yeah.
Cicada? So you know this story?
No, I know I know cicadas, the insect.
Only one foal was due in the spring of 1970. The winner of the coin toss would receive one foal, the first choice in 69. The loser would get second choice in 69, the lone foal of 1970. Ogden Phipps wins the toss.
This is how we'll decide who gets to pick the movie that the other people have to watch. We'll do a coin toss live on camera.
Ogden Phipps wins the toss, gets Something Royal, 1969. Chenery gets the second choice in 69 in the 1970 full Secretariat.
Mm.
And he says, imagine losing a coin toss and ending up with Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, Babe Ruth, and Secretariat. That's got to be the best coin toss. I always thought it was Neil Walker, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in the 1969 NBA draft, but no. New category from Pat in Wisconsin. Best application to a high school lesson plan. And he says, for years, my former colleagues, and I have utilized movie clips or entire movies into our instruction as social studies teachers. Examples, U.S. history, There Will Be Blood, U.S. oil boom. Argo, Iranian hostage crisis. Pulp Fiction, Jules and the Robbers and the Diner is a metaphor for U.S. and German tensions following the Zimmerman note. Is that true?
I don't know, but it just seems like this guy wanted to show Pulp Fiction to his class.
It's Crime and Justice, Catch Me If You Can, White Collar Crime. Psychology, Rain Man, What About Bob, Memento, Mean Girls, The Strawberry Daiquiri Scene. Philosophy, Groundhog Day. I don't think this works as a category, but I really appreciate the spirit behind it.
Yeah.
Using movies to connect with high school kids who don't want to be in your class and are probably on their phone.
That's right. I used to have a 8th grade history teacher who would show like movies from different historical eras than the ones that we were studying. And it was clear that he just needed a class off. He'd be like, we're doing the colonial American Revolution. Let's watch Spartacus.
Right.
Yeah, throw on the rewatchables for the students, you know?
This is the
Get Gen
best
Z
idea of
involved.
all the ideas, and sadly, we probably won't be able to do it. It's a new category idea from Colin W. A few years ago, it was jokingly brought up to have a category where you call Rosillo and ask what he thinks of the film being discussed.
Just live on air.
I feel like we as listeners have missed out on more than a few gem takes from RR by this having been implemented in the podcast. This would be an incredible category. Does Russillo like this movie? What's Russillo's take? Calling Russillo unprompted and unannounced. If he doesn't answer, he doesn't answer.
I don't know why we don't do this.
This is my favorite idea we've
by
ever
far
had.
the best idea.
So we just put him on speaker
Yeah.
and just call, and if
Right
he
into the
answers,
mic.
and he answers,
Yep.
I'm like, hey, Friday Night Lights, what are your thoughts?
Does Russillo have the highest batting average on the rewatchables in terms of like appearances to the amount of
yeah, it's almost like we don't want to
moments?
book him anymore.
Right. He's Town, Vision Quest, Wolf of Wall Street. Is that it?
And Margin Call.
Deliverance.
Yeah.
Oh,
Margin Call. I think he's done like 5 or 6.
yeah.
Deliverance. That was his choice. I like this Russillo idea, though. We might have to try.
Yeah.
So good.
So
we
what
should try
we
it
do-
right now. Let's pick
So
a
if we
movie.
do Before Sunrise later this month,
Call. And he'll just
we just call him. And he's like, Ethan Hawke,
Yeah.
fucking movie sucked. New category.
I thought Jesse could have done better than her, man.
I really like this next idea too. New category idea from Thomas P. Is this movie perfect in that does it accomplish its stated goal? For example, Dazed and Confused attempts to capture the beginning of summer 1976 in a small town. Can you imagine a better version included in the soundtrack? Does the actor playing Mitch take it from perfect to almost perfect? The answer is yes. Other perfect movie candidates: Stand By Me, Devil Wears Prada, Die Hard. Not necessarily the best movie ever, but movies that perfectly achieved their goal.
Love this.
You know-
love this idea.
It's a great idea, and my wife,
It's a better way to rate movies.
my wife had Devil Wears Prada on, which we've watched a bunch of. It's one of the most rewatchable movies of the last 20 years, I think. And I was watching, I was like, this is like
It's a 10 out of
a
10.
no-hitter of a
Yeah.
movie for whatever it was trying to
Yeah.
do. Yeah, I wouldn't change a single thing. The plot makes sense. Even Adrian Grenier as the boyfriend is hilarious
Yeah.
because he's so bad.
Yeah.
So I like the idea of, did this movie achieve
It's also
its
cool for
ceiling?
like movies that are like B+, B- movies generally, but like for what it was doing,
Yeah.
you couldn't have improved it really.
No, like The Sandlot is a 10 out of 10. It did exactly what it needed to do.
So do you think this is, where would we put this in the episode? Is it
I
near
think you
the
would
end?
do after.
I think you do it near
Who
the
Won
end,
the
right?
Movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, who won the movie and is this
Or right
movie
before
perfect?
who won
Yeah.
the movie. Yeah. I like that one. Top of the pot idea from Katie Mount. This is another good one. I would love it if you all added a food and drink recommendation to accompany the film we're supposed to be rewatching. My husband and I plan our weeks around rewatching and listening to your
Oh,
podcasts.
that's nice.
That's nice. So it would immensely help my meal planning. I already have a steak on a paper plate planned for rewatching Den of Thieves, but still decided between a box of wine or champagne or beer to go with it.
Oh man, I would go.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah,
So what's heat? We got to go back to heat. So what's the food and drink for heat?
the chicken. Because remember, he's like, "I'm sorry if the chicken
Oh yeah.
got overcooked." Overcooked. So overcooked rotisserie chicken for heat.
So you're just picking an item from the movie, or is it whatever you feel like is the perfect
I
pair?
took it as like the mood for the movie.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
because that's
yeah.
interesting. Because like for instance, for Blair Witch, you would do basically like
Yeah.
gas station snack banquet, like jerky, Doritos, Dr. Pepper, everything that they get out of the gas station is what you would eat during that. You'd feel like shit afterwards, though.
I think the problem with this category, which I really liked, is it's really up to the person.
Yeah,
They know what the movie is. Take it from there.
60% of them are also should I be smoking during this?
This never quite got here, but Luke B thought we should do a Brad Stevens Award for the best basketball lineup you could possibly make for the movie.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah,
Guys, you slot 5 characters into roles, positions in a starting lineup. He said, for instance, Neil's crew from Heat. Neil's the point guard. He's a Chris Paul type. Chris is the gunslinging shooting guard. Treya's the bruising meta world piece, Corey Maggette type. And Sizemore is a Horace Grant, Serge Ibaka, David West, traditional Swiss Army knife power forward.
I like that this dude stopped watching basketball in 2011. Just like Ibaka and David West.
He's like a Luol Deng.
Trending topics today.
Yeah, throw Corey Maggette in there.
This is a good one for an ensemble movie.
Yeah.
To put together a basketball team. So like Friday Night Lights we just did.
Yeah.
So Riggins was what? Riggins is like he's like a banger. He's like a rebounder.
He's like a
Stretch
undersized four.
Yeah. Saracen's like under like a 5'9" point guard. He's like a Jose Alvarado.
Booby Miles, shooting guard.
Booby Miles is like the Kobe. He
Yeah.
goes down. Category tweak from John Wolf. This is great. A cousin of the Mallory Rubin did this movie need a better sex scene. I thought of this during the Den of Thieves pod. Didn't we need a scene where Pablo, 50, and crew play a pickup basketball game against Butler and the Sheriffs? Then he asked, didn't Shot Collar need a better sports scene? We get no prison ball. Couldn't Goodfellas have fit in a softball scene like they're playing for the deli team? Basically, how would you have shoehorned a sports scene into this movie for no reason? The best version of this is American History X when we have the Helter Skelter pickup basketball game.
I was watching Maverick again the other day, and the football scene with two footballs is just like in the movie theater. You're like, what are they doing? Even though it's basically the volleyball scene from the first one.
Yeah.
It's so awesome.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just such a chill hangout.
I think we keep this in our back pocket.
Yeah.
I think you could work this into every movie. How can we shoehorn a sports scene into this? And you guys have to come up with one. I think it's great.
So before sunrise,
little five-a-side soccer.
He all of a sudden is.
Yeah, I mean, looking at these movies like Body Double. What is he like going to play racquetball one day? You got to do something.
That's a good one. Instead of acting class, racquetball gets claustrophobic.
It's too much. It's too tight in there.
We should test drive that
good.
one.
Yeah,
That's a good idea.
This would work, I think. Like, what are they playing in Hereditary?
Oh man, what would they be in Hereditary?
And you have to kind of make it work.
That's a school football game where they go and something scary happens.
But
I would just love it if Toni Collette was just like, well, why don't we settle this out on the court? Just like dunking on her son.
Well, Great Santini had all those great basketball scenes in that. You've never seen that one. A slew of category suggestions from Yale Reardon.
These are really good.
He wants us to add the Jason Tatum, he's only 19, breakout star award.
Yeah.
Someone who obviously jumps off the screen. That doesn't happen enough. The Nick Saban Offensive Coordinator Referral Award, an open opportunity to give out references of comparable films. If you enjoyed this movie, I recommend you also watch this.
We could just call that recommended if you like. Yeah.
Well, we could
double feature similar to that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but maybe, is that better than double feature? If you like this movie, try this. Or does Tubi do that? The greedy overlords.
Evil Tubi.
It's the next recommendation on the algorithm award.
Yeah. Next algorithmic recommendation.
And then he says he wants us to change the title of the Kid Cudi Pursuit of Happiness needle drop. He said, The Ringer dramatically overestimates the importance of Project X in culture today.
Disagree. We underestimate it.
Yeah, I disagree too. He said he offered the Johnny Depp's Black Betty airport walk and blow.
That's
definitely not happening.
Really funny that you think Black Betty and Blow is bigger than the Project X one.
He did offer the Billy Bats Atlantis beatdown in Goodfellas.
That's fucking incredible.
Pretty solid.
Yeah.
But we're not getting rid of Kid Cudi. New category from James Winston.
Thought this was Jameis Winston for a second.
The I used to fuck guys like you in prison award for the wildest, oddest, most fucked up line of dialogue in the movie.
Yeah. We'll keep it in mind.
Yeah.
Can you see some of these? I didn't think I sent some of these to you.
I can see him.
How do you see him?
You sent the whole thing to me.
Oh, I did? I didn't mean to.
Yeah.
I only meant to send you like 7.
Yeah. No, you sent them all to me.
Oh, shit. I really fucked up. I meant to only send you 7.
Well, I'm not like following along. I have no idea where you're going with these.
New category from Daniel in Mexico. How about a category called Would This Movie Work in Another Genre? Example, Tropic Thunder as a survival drama, Rosemary's Baby as a comedy, or Mrs. Doubtfire as a horror thriller film. So they did that with The Shining with the family dramedy, with the Torrances.
I like when they recut trailers.
Yeah.
I often think about how this movie would be different if Curb Your Enthusiasm music was playing.
Bum, bum, bum. There's a great one, Mrs. Doubtfire, as a horror film on YouTube.
Oh, is there?
Yeah,
that's good.
Trailer.
A burning question from Robert G. This is good. You've given the opportunity to have either Cruz or Hanks on for Rewatchables as your co-host. You can do a movie they've been in, a movie the other's been in, or a movie of your choice. Who's a better co-host? What movie are you doing? Is the play for them, one of them to come on a movie you haven't done yet that's theirs, like Cruz for All the Right Moves or Hanks for Turner and Hooch? Or is it more interesting to talk about a movie the other one's in? Personally, I think a re-cruising with Cruz is the only choice.
So this is a good question. As a co-host, Cruz or Hanks?
So it's almost like a subcategory for Cruz or Hanks.
I think that Hanks would be able to kind of go in different places and riff with you and talk about.
I think let's be honest,
but-
Hanks is a better
yeah, but the
co-host.
sheer
Cruise
curiosity-
tells incredible stories about the production of the films that he's been in.
Even if he hasn't been in it, just the entertainment factor is so much higher. If Tom
Like
Cruise is
Cruise
sitting
doing
next to
Eyes
you.
Wide Shut would be the greatest podcast in the history of the world.
Hanks is better as a podcaster. Like he could hang in with all of these.
Do we know that Cruise can't hang in as a podcaster?
Cruise, from a I can't believe this is happening
Yes.
standpoint, is
Yeah.
better. The upside of Cruise is higher. If we're doing like Before Sunrise with Cruise and he just fucking goes on a tangent about when he filmed Mission Impossible 5 in
Yeah.
France.
Yeah, he's like,
He
I've
tells
been to
some
Vienna.
10-minute
You may
story.
remember it from Mission Impossible 1.
He's
yeah.
just acting weird and doing Cruise stuff.
It's Cruise. It's not
I'm
even
gonna go
close.
Cruise.
Yeah.
I would feel safer with Hanks.
But what does that even mean? That the pod won't be a disaster?
No, I just feel like it would be a safer bet to be a good pod. There's a Cruise version of the pod.
Yeah, like
that's-
there's a Cruise thing where you make too many cigarette jokes and he's like, cigarettes are poison. You know, It's like he gets really mad at you.
We also had Robert G. also said you need to get Bernthal on for Sakari or the Accountant Rewatchables co-host along with CR. If CR can muster up the courage to do Wayne Jenkins with Bernthal on the pod, keep it. Otherwise, you got to retire it. I disagree. From James McGowan, I'm slightly older than you. That's my line. But I'm sure you remember the CBS late movie. If The Outlaw, Josie Wales, or Kelly's Heroes was playing, I was staying up. You could do an old school broadcast TV rewatchables month. I also love the Hollywood Nights. I think that would be tough.
So what would be some examples of movies from that era?
It's all the Westerns.
Okay.
It's Towering Inferno, movies like that.
Poseidon Adventure.
Yeah, Poseidon Adventure. I don't know. Those movies are pretty tough to watch now.
Yeah.
I tried to watch Poseidon Adventure. It's rough.
Hackman's in that, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of good people, and it's like, this should be good. And 20 minutes in, you're like, they can't get Shelley Winters up on a cliff. It's,
I forgot about
it's
that.
fine.
She's
Oh,
like,
man,
leave
they
me
still can't get her
here.
up. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Really rough. A tweak from Mark McGowan. Big fan of the pod, he says. On the Den of Thieves show this week, you threw out drinking milk from the carton for Apex Mountain. I wanted to submit the scene from Terminator 2 when the T-1000 kills John's foster dad through the milk carton while he's drinking from it. Who knew the T-1000 cared so much about proper hygiene and etiquette? What did we say the best one? We said Anchorman, right? How did we beat an Anchorman for drinking milk out of the...
But we haven't done Anchorman yet.
We haven't.
No.
It's on the list.
Was that 04?
Yeah. Missed the anniversary. Category section from Mark C. Where would you cast Philip Seymour Hoffman?
This is a great one. Honestly, no movie that he couldn't improve marginally. So
maybe every movie we just try to figure out what part he would have played?
yeah, like Godfather 3. Could he have been a cardinal? Why not?
I really like this one.
That's good.
So maybe it's right after Cruiser Hanks?
Yeah.
We'll
Where
test
would you
drive
cast
it.
Philip Seymour Hoffman?
Yeah, we'll test drive it. It'd be tough to do with Before Sunrise. New category from Kevin Paulman. The Sideways. I'm not drinking any fucking Merlot award for life imitating art presented when something ridiculous in the movie unexpectedly gains a cult following and becomes a bona fide thing. Examples. Sideways. When Miles's Merlot tantrum arguably torpedoed Merlot sales for years and counting, which we talked about in the pod. Office Space, the rise of the red swing line stapler. Big Lebowski, Jeff Bridges turning into the dude in real life. Rounders, the poker boom, and Empire Records, Rex Manning Day. Another Empire Records. There's not enough times this happens, but I like the spirit behind it. My
could
favorite
do
part is Jeff
what
Bridges
would-
turning into the
Yeah,
dude,
it's
which
good.
I think actually happened.
Yeah, you could do what should have been trending out of this movie. Like, what trend should this movie have started?
Right.
You know, should Goodfellas have started a Layla revival or something? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It should probably-
Did Jaws like significantly affect people going into the ocean?
Yes. I was terrified of the ocean.
Yeah, it's affected Bill.
It really did. I remember walking by the ocean the next summer and being afraid to go in. Category tweak from Mike Roy Lance. This is great. He says he thinks he's listened to every Rewatchables episode. He wants to lose evil laughing Ramon Raymond.
People
from
hate
that
Ramon
category.
Raymond.
Yeah, we're good.
I saw Andy Garcia out the other night.
No way.
Yeah.
He's like, are you the fucking asshole who does the Rewatchables? He wants us to replace Ramon Raymond with Wilford Brimley from The Firm. He says it's the hardest he's ever laughed listening to a pod.
What does
I
she
think
find,
we need more
bitch?
Brimley. If we had Daniel Plainview and
Wilford Brimley?
for 2025, we're in pretty good shape.
Yeah, that's good. Who do we drop? Ramon Raymond and Have we
We'll
ever
try.
done Philip Baker Hall?
No, we can drop him.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's always funny to say his words last. And
Yeah.
Philip Baker Hall. What was Brimley's character in The Firm? Did he have a name?
Yeah, it did.
Tell you what it brings, Mitch. Heartache. Random question from Rail F.
William Devonshire was his name.
Do you think movie theaters should invest more resources in auditoriums and anniversary movies and also feature more old school rewatchable movies? What do you think, Craig? You're a younger guy who likes to go out and do stuff.
I think
Do you like going to Alamo Draft House?
I've actually never been to an Alamo Draft House. There are opening one on the west side, I heard. Yeah, we just saw, they put Interstellar out last month and it was huge. And among like everybody I know, people were thrilled to go back and see it.
But is that an LA thing or is that an around the country thing?
I think it did really well. Like, wasn't it like in the top 10 box office or whatever?
Is that true?
Yeah.
I think
They
there
put it
is.
out on IMAX.
I think there is a thirst for that, for people to go re-experience what something could have felt like 15 years ago when it came out.
Because I saw Seven is on
Yeah.
Is on IMAX.
IMAX right now. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Because it's something you can't recreate. I mean, I don't know about really old movies, but movies like of the 2000s that kids who are 20 years old now wish they could have seen, I think that works.
I think it's a thing.
Chris had a good point about Seven.
Mm.
Probably not a theater you want to be in with the other people there. It's just you and 17 guys by themselves.
That's a good category. What's like the worst movie audience you'd want to be with?
Exactly. Yeah.
I think I told this story in the Rewatchables when I saw Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer by myself in Boston at the BU theater.
Was there anybody else at the theater?
There was like 8 other guys, and we were all kind of like monitoring each other. We were like, what are you up to? Everyone like separated perfectly by 6 seats, kind of watching.
Worst movie to see with your parents or your in-laws? That's another good one.
Oh, yeah.
One night we were like, in the last week, should we watch Honora? And I was like, no.
Honora's in the top. That would be
Top
way
5.
up there.
We could
Yeah.
skip the first hour and then we could come in.
The first shot of Honora,
was like, I'd be like, all right, I'm out.
Don't want to watch this with my mom. Yeah.
I would say number 1 would be Monsters Ball.
Okay.
Make me feel good. Make me
Don't open your eyes, Marion.
So this one caught my attention. Category idea from Michael Morrison. Would this movie be better if it was directed by Spielberg or Scorsese?
Ooh, that's
Could that
fun.
be Follow Cruz and Hanks?
That's good.
I like that.
The only problem I had with it is, are there arguments? I feel like each one would be naturally
Well, I
easy
think
to
that they've
figure out.
circled each other and enough projects over the course of their career. They've had like slight overlap here and there. Schindler's was a big one, right? Wasn't that the big one that Scorsese was going to direct and Spielberg took over?
Yeah.
Right.
But like any crime, action-y thing will go to Scorsese, right?
I don't know. I mean, you could make the argument that it would be fascinating to see Spielberg
Sure.
try something like that.
Well, let's test drive it with the last couple we've done.
Home Alone 2.
Den of Thieves, Spielberg or Scorsese?
I mean,
Probably Scorsese.
Scorsese.
Yeah, knee-jerk, it's Scorsese.
Friday Night Lights, Spielberg or Scorsese?
Spielberg.
Yeah. Home Alone 2.
Spielberg.
The Gambler.
Well, I don't know.
Scorsese.
Scorsese really has a feel for
New
New
York.
York.
The Gambler?
I mean,
Scorsese.
Disclosure? Definitely not Spielberg.
No.
Running Scared.
Scorsese.
Yeah. The Replacements? Both of them say no. I think. What about Meet the Parents?
Probably, I could see that being Scorsese just because he's worked with De Niro so much.
Body Double?
Spielberg.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Because he's a big Hitchcock guy too.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think Spielberg. Last one, Halloween 4. What do you think? Probably Scorsese.
That was the last.
That was the
Forgot
last one I
about
did.
Halloween 4.
That was great.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Category ideas from Johnny L. The Bill Simmons Hardcore Award for most inappropriate Google search on a work computer inspired by the film. Really doesn't happen that often, but it's I like
Sometimes
having
it
a
happens
word.
during the pod, and it'll be like, "Don't
Yeah,
Google that.
don't-
Don't Google that." Yeah.
The Innocent Bystander Award for the background character whose life is forever changed due to the actions of the movie, but of course it's never acknowledged in the film. He says the girl on the Girl Scouts team in dodgeball who tests positive for PDs gets her team disqualified.
Beaver tranquilizer.
what happens to her down the road? That's pretty funny. And then last idea, the memorabilia from this movie you'd want the least.
Yeah, that's
Ooh.
really
So
good.
I think maybe we add that. It's like memorabilia you'd want the most or the least, and you get either choice, right?
Yeah.
like Demi Moore's substance body at the end of the film.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Question from Stephen M. Why would you guys do a rewatchable on Rocky 3 and Rocky 4 before the Oscar-winning Rocky 1? It makes no sense.
Bill, would you like to
Why
take
did
that
you
one?
gesture at Craig?
I don't know. I don't know
Like,
what
that was
Craig's doing.
Craig's idea.
I don't know what he's doing over there. We did Rocky 4. We did the first. I did
I don't
Rocky
think I've
3.
done a Rocky with you. Yeah.
Been saving you for Rocky 1.
Thank you.
I did Rocky 3 with Sal and Gus.
Mhm.
Because my buddy Gus, because we had watched Rocky 3 together so many times.
And did you do 4 with Kyle?
Rocky 4 was Kyle. I think that was during COVID.
Yeah, maybe.
So it was Zoom era. It was a Zoom pod.
It was.
And I just did it in the order of Rocky movies that I like. My favorite is 3.
Really?
My
4
second
is
favorite is
second
4.
favorite?
One's slow
Yeah.
and features the controversial seduction scene,
And then 2.
which really Rocky should have gone to jail for 10 years. It's really rough to watch. No
ca-
intimacy
you're
coordinator in
canceling
that one
Rocky.
either.
Yeah.
Rocky made some mistakes. But Rocky 1, we probably do 1, and then maybe we do Rocky 2, but it's just the last 25 minutes from
Yeah.
her waking up from the coma. It's a mini rewatchables. First hour and a half of that movie, shoot that in the sun. Oh, movie suggestion from Elijah. Big fan of the rewatchables. You've already done Alien. I'd love to hear you guys discuss Aliens.
Me too, Elijah.
It's one of the best sci-fi action films ever. One of the better sequels. It's immensely rewatchable.
I just rewatched Alien last week, and I have never seen Aliens.
Ciara, any thoughts on Aliens? Do
I
you like
love
that movie?
Aliens.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Had no idea.
Are you out on Aliens?
No, I really like. We've been saving it. It's a classic.
And just the Newt conversation alone would just be incredible.
I saw Aliens on a date.
Did you?
Yeah.
It's a long movie for a date.
Nothing happened after. I'll tell you that much.
Not the future sports gal.
Nothing. A complete from Scott Murphy. I really hate that these pods are so long, but damn it, there should be a fact-checking category, particularly with Bill quoting other movies. For years, he's been saying cross the beams instead of cross the streams, Ghostbuster. But he managed to equal that during the Longest Yard pod. When the Anacott Steel is brought up and he goes to quote Wall Street, he says, Blue Oyster loves Anacott Steel. No, it's Blue Horseshoe. Blue Oyster is the bar in the Police Academy series. I know he's old and his brain is becoming mush, but damn, either get it right or stop quoting other films.
I disagree. That gives the show its
It's
flavor.
so fun.
Yeah. You need
It's
that.
also like, it's always that this pregnant pause where it's like, should we correct him?
We all look at each other.
It's hard to host.
No, there was
I
a really
agree
good
with
one a
you.
couple
I
months
know.
ago. Yeah.
Plus the vaccine.
Yeah,
Right.
right. The
Pre-vaccine.
polio vaccine, is that what you're talking about?
Pre-vaccine.
Half the time you guys bring up a character's name from a movie, I have no idea what you're talking about.
I don't mind
can't
having-
believe how good you are remembering characters' names.
I'm fine with fucking up occasionally. I fucked up in the Meet the Parents with Owen Wilson, Luke Wilson for like 5 solid minutes.
Yeah.
And you wanted to be corrected earlier on that one?
No, Kyle eventually.
During a break, I told you.
Yeah.
An ad break. That's
And
usually how
Kyle
I
was nice enough not to correct me.
Do you then say, I can't believe I've been saying that wrong, or do you just push
Yeah, I
through?
acknowledged
Okay.
it.
You acknowledged it.
Yeah.
But would you rather somebody
Which
correct
Wilson
you?
was it? Was it Luke or Owen?
Owen was in the movie. You were saying Luke.
Yeah, see, I
But
still
Luke's
can't
in
get
your
it right.
head because I'm like, there's a category named after
Would you
Luke.
rather
It's
somebody
okay.
correct you after the first mistake, or kind of let it sit and tell you it?
No, I think it's funnier if I don't know.
Okay. Look at that. You're doing it for the game.
New category idea for Jacob Murphy. Every now and then you guys talk about some great names in the Rewatchables movies, like Mitch McDear or Kelly Leak. These names should be given the category of the Brock Landers and Chess Rockwell Award.
Yeah,
for
this is up
great
there. The
names.
Whip Whitaker Award from Flight. Yeah.
So you
Oh,
could
yeah,
talk
Whip.
me into this just being a standard category.
Best name.
Best name, best character name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we always talk about it anyway. Maybe it goes in what's age the best. I don't know. New category from Daniel C. The Carl from Walking Dead Award for what character would survive the longest in the zombie apocalypse. Classic Rewatchables examples include Jem in the Town, Buck and Boogie Nights, and Tubbs in Calderon's Revenge. This cannot be a category, but I like the spirit. I like they threw in Tubbs.
Yeah, he was really speaking our language.
New category from Zach Smith, suggesting the Barney Cousins Award for most inexplicable accent work. Recent winners, Carrie Elwes in Twister, Lindsay Krause in Slapshot, Dennis Christopher in Break It Away, any bad Boston accent.
What's wrong with Lindsay Cross and Slapshot?
I don't know. He's just drive-by. But then he says Barney could also be a great addition to the Wayne Jenkins category. I'm not against that one. Hello, Chris.
So we're gonna add in a character on a movie that's not
Is
not available
unfindable.
to stream at all.
Hello,
Drink the coffee, Chris. New category idea from Michael Connor. I would love to see a new category called "What is the perfect age to see this movie?"
Love this.
Great one.
Seeing The Breakfast Club at 15 is so much better than seeing it at 10 or 25.
What's the perfect age to see Goodfellas?
1 minute from now.
Has Ben seen Goodfellas?
Goodfellas is the best.
I have to imagine for most movies that are great, it's like 16 to 22, right?
I think it's end of high school, beginning of college.
Yeah.
I think there's plenty of films.
It'd be
that are
weird if it
better
was
in
like
early high
48.
school.
Right.
But the movies from that like 95 to 97 era, 99 era are the ones that I still think about the most, probably because of what age I was.
I mean, if there's movies about parenthood, maybe you want to be a parent first. But most movies, for Superbad, you're never going to say 38 years old is the best time to see Superbad.
I think one thing I've noticed is the movies that are serious but then are secretly funny are the ones that have aged the best for me, like Heat and Goodfellas, that are great movies I loved anyway. But
have like that second
Goodfellas
layer
is
of
so
humor.
fucking funny now when I watch it. Like, I was texting you over the break about Tommy when he shoots Spider and then he gets mad at Spider. Get up! Like, you the fuck, Spider.
That actually, I mean, when we did Silence of the Lambs live, it was like mostly as if Silence of the Lambs was a comedy.
So it's in some ways, I think the movies sometimes age where it's actually better, like the 35th time you've seen it than the first time, you know? Because I definitely feel that way about Goodfellas. I enjoy it as much now as I ever did. But I would say sometimes movies hit, we talked about this in the past with like, when we did like the Kicking and Screaming, like you have to see a movie like that's
Coming
about
of
those
age
characters
stuff.
right around the time that you have to be the same age.
Yeah.
My son really loves those kid in it's a summer and the kid who's got the job for the summer
Like
and
Snack
all these
Shack
people
or
in
something.
Snack Shack.
Yeah.
He loves those
Stand
movies.
By Me, kind of
He's
like
always
that.
like, Dad, where are more movies
They're
like
the best.
that?
I agree.
The summer movies. Movie suggestion from Used Car Cowboy. This is just a weird email. I'm going to read it. The 1978 Invasion of the Body Snatchers would be awesome. He wants us to do it. A+ movie, plus it has Jeff Goldblum playing a character called Belichick, who ends up completely stoic, emotionless, and it features the 1978-79 Golden State Warriors. I'd like to imagine Brooke Adams' boyfriend was watching Jerry Maxwell and Alvin Martin from Inside Moves taking that team in the playoffs. Also puts me in mind of finding out how many people in my life were pro-MAGA.
I think Used Car Cowboy just did the whole pod for us.
Stephen and Charlotte from Massachusetts wrote this one together. Oh. Hey, everyone, love the show. My dad and I are big listeners. Had an idea for a new category. The Kathy Griffin in Pulp Fiction, Mike Myers in Inglourious Bastards, Lena Dunham in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood Award for most jarring casting decision.
Yeah.
Thanks for such a great show. Hope
It's
you're all
kind
staying
of like
safe.
the casting choice that took you out of the movie, which for me was, and we talked about this, my friends over the last few days, Stanley Tucci in Conclave. I'm like,
It's Stanley Tucci.
Yeah, you're like, I've been watching you make pasta in your home on YouTube for the last 3 years. Yeah.
But Ray Fiennes, it didn't bother you.
No.
Right.
This is an interesting category.
I'm trying to think of a recent movie that we've done.
This casting took me out of the movie for 2 minutes.
You can overcast a movie. Like, not everybody needs to be someone. Lena Dunham in Once Upon a Time, you're like, okay, it's Lena Dunham.
Sometimes it's not the movie's fault. Like, sometimes you'll be watching, like, Running Scared, and you're like, oh my God, that's Jimmy Smits. Like, that's like a pretty, it's like
this is
iconic
more like
cop.
the side. Like, I think Lena Dunham in Once Upon a Time in My Hollywood is a great example of this.
Maybe that was a little bit too much mustard.
Yes, it feels like stunt casting to a degree.
The reverse is Tom Noonan in Heat.
Yeah.
It's all out there.
It's a good one, though.
A Rocky IV nitpick from Paul. On the 39th anniversary of the end of the Cold War, I have one nitpick regarding the greatest movie ever made. Paulie says, what about the Rose Bowl game? But the fight takes place on Christmas Day, 1 week before the Rose Bowl. I don't know what to do with this information. I'm just passing along because it obviously has been bothering Paul for a long time. And then Danielle pointed out with the Hereditary episode, we mentioned it was piano wire.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It was a rope saw that used to cut down trees. And the only reason I'm really mentioning this detail is to emphasize the details Ari Aster puts in his films.
So it was not a piano wire, it was a rope saw?
Yeah.
I was unaware of that.
Rope saw would make more sense due to the area the family lives in.
Oh, yeah. Utah.
Likely used to make the treehouse. Dave Van Buskirk wants us to do The Sure Thing, which has been on the list forever,
Mhm.
but is another movie that's just not available.
Also a big one. I'm a One Crazy Summer fan and
Yeah.
a Better Off Dead fan.
So Sure Thing, just not around. A slew of categories from Brian Greer. The Jenny Gump Award for the character who seems nice but is actually a terrible person. I really like this one.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a conditional one.
The Pam Beasley, yeah.
Mike Wallace in The Insider.
Would this movie have been better if someone died?
Yeah.
Not against it. The Ice Storm Award. Would this movie have been better if some of the characters randomly had an affair or fucked? A little dark. And then he has monthly themes. Vengeance is Mine month,
Yeah.
about characters seeking vengeance, but then Dog month. Best in Show, Marley and Me, Turner and Hooch. You know, I've circled Dog month for a while. I can't find the fourth movie.
So those are the three?
Those three would definitely be in Dog
Yeah, because
month. I don't know what the
not really
fourth
good.
one
And
is.
it seems like you would want to present like a positive.
Well, the
dogs in a
Simmons family
positive light.
loves dog movies.
Marley and Me's so sad. Man.
Dog's Purpose,
Mm-hmm.
really good.
Oh, okay.
The sled dog movie that what's his face made?
Cuba
Paul
Gooding?
Walker.
Oh.
8 Below.
Yeah.
Awesome.
What about that Channing Tatum dog movie recently?
Oh, the
Dog.
dog. Yeah.
Hasn't gotten there yet.
Homeward Bound, big one for me as a kid.
Carl Rice writes in, for categories, I like the idea of the Heat, okay, motherfucker, award for the moment the movie steps up a notch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not bad.
I like that. That's like Denzel Washington giving Ethan Hawke angel dust. He's like, oh, you like to get wet. Didn't know that.
Last one from Jackson in Toronto. He loves the show, listens every week. He's been thinking about Full Metal Jacket for 30 years. Sergeant Hartman has a smart-ass response for every answer the privates give. In one scene, he asks Joker, do you believe in the Virgin Mary? And Joker says no. The response gets a slap in the face, but also Joker gets promoted. Whole pivotal scene built around the response. But what would have happened if Joker said yes? Would the response be outstanding? There's no way the sergeant could have given a disgusting response for answering yes. I think there should be a category for what would have happened if they just did or said blank.
Yeah. So like this is a little bit of a cousin of the online idea of like Die Hard. What if he just like leaves in the first 5 minutes? Or you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like there's like ways in which movies could be over in 15 minutes.
There's a horror film like What If They Just Moved Out of the House?
So, but if there's like
Yeah.
a pivotal line that if this person
What if he had said
X,
this? Yeah, there's something there.
like
We
Inglourious
got some good ones out of that, though.
Yeah.
Inglourious Bastards, if he does the correct three.
do we easily win World
I
War
can't believe I
II?
screwed up. I can't believe I screwed up and sent you the wrong doc.
That's okay.
I meant to send you a doc.
Did
that
you
had
feel like it
7
affected my
things.
performance?
No, I only wanted you to prepare for 7 things.
Yeah,
Instead, I sent you a doc with
You
7
jumped
emails.
around. That's fine.
All right. We'll use a couple of those. I mean, the most important thing is that Daniel Plainville and
Plainview, yeah.
Daniel Van Plainview. Why'd you correct me?
I don't know. Daniel Plainville is
And Daniel
starting small
Plainview.
forward for Indiana.
And Wilford Brimley, what's his character?
Davishaw.
What's his kid's name in There Will Be Blood? HW?
Yeah.
Yeah. My son HW.
What did we say we could do?
Or a
like
family
a
business.
Wednesday rewatchable? You said like
That was the Luke Wilson mailbag. So basically, people would write in with their Luke Wilson hottest takes
movie
about
hottest
the movie
takes.
that
After
we
the
had
movie.
just done.
I don't mind having people send hottest takes and doing a special little mini episode and seeing if it works.
Yeah.
All right. Craig Horlbeck, Chris Ryan. We'll be back next week with an actual movie. So thanks for your patience. But the rewatchables will be kicking back in every week after this episode. Thanks for everybody thanks to everybody who sent in really fun, great email questions.
Yeah.
We didn't get to nearly all of them, but thanks for that. If you ever want to email us, the rewatchables33@gmail.com. Good to see you guys.